This episode of FSEN Daily includes affiliate promotions. When you use our link or promo code, FSEN may earn a small commission that helps us continue bringing you coverage of local sports and entertainment. Thanks for supporting the show.
Every score, every story, every voice that matters in the borderland. This is FSEN Daily. Sports entertainment news. If it matters here, it matters here.
Welcome to FSEN Daily. Today is Thursday, June 25th, 2026. And we got another show for you guys here today, and I gotta caveat it again. Today's gonna be NBA heavy because the NBA has been going bananas and crazy. And so we're gonna kind of look at some of this from the draft, some of the trades, and kind of just take a look at it from our perspective, right? So before we get into all of that though, is there anything going on around the borderland we need to talk about? Not a lot, right?
Not a lot.
It's been real quiet.
It'll probably pick up as we get closer to July 4th weekend. A lot of events will start getting announced.
Yeah, definitely. So let's jump into this NBA thing. Woke up this morning to a headline that I had talked about for the last 2 days, LaMelo Ball going to Minnesota. They traded for the man.
Mm-hmm.
They got Anthony Edwards, a backcourt mate that I think that will allow him the ability to get off the ball a lot more and to be able to do what Ant does best, and that's get downhill and get into the lane and finish. And so what are your initial reactions to the trade? Because mine were crazy.
It was a bit shocking. First of all, it was shocking that the Hornets were even making LaMelo Ball available. I think, say what you want about him, say what you want about some of the
Shot selection,
some of the off the court issues. He's talented, and he's one of the main reasons that the Hornets were able to continue to stay competitive, especially in the back half of last season. So, kind of surprising that they not necessarily put him up the trade, but were like listening to trade talks. However, I do think that this is definitely something that they were looking for. I know we were talking about Minnesota needs to find an actual true point guard, which LaMelo does give them, with even though some of them passes and some of them plays be kind of boneheaded. As he hopefully matures this coming offseason this year in Minnesota with Anthony Edwards, he should improve his basketball IQ. They add a very talented, again, point guard to that roster, and the Hornets get a bunch of draft picks and a veteran presence in Naz Reid on that front court now in order to help with the development of a lot of young players that they just drafted, a lot of players that they signed and brought back. So the Hornets are rebuilding, going younger, also still being competitive and still looking for the future. So I think this will end up hopefully benefiting both teams one way or another, but we shall see.
LaMelo isn't older than 25. Those picks, I'm like Josh Hart. Man, bump them picks. They're going to have this kid for the next 10 years. Those picks ain't going to matter, right? So, because they're going to be low draft picks. They're going to be at the bottom of the first round. They're going to be like number 30.
Most of them are second-round picks, which kind of opens up another discussion of how, with the new lottery system going into place, a lot of teams are now looking to have a stockpile of second-round picks to build out the rosters and find talent.
Mm-hmm.
Because, the first round, you can't really bank on, okay, if we're a bad team, we might have a good pick. Now, the odds are a lot more flattened. It's now a little bit more anyone can get a pick. So now being able to basically for lack of better words, guarantee that you could have a high second-round pick or have second-round capital you can trade off. Now that's not going to be as volatile. I think it's going to be very beneficial. We saw that with the Knicks. We saw that now with this trade between the Hornets and the Timberwolves, how them second-round picks just got a little bit more valuable because they're a little bit more, I say, controllable.
Yeah.
Compared to the first-round picks, which are now a lot more volatile because these flattened rates and how expanded it is, I mean, shoot, a lot can happen.
So why do you think Minnesota made this move? I think it's because Anthony Edwards was putting pressure on them to do something this offseason to get him some help. I definitely think that they needed to move him off the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a point guard.
Mm-hmm.
He is not a facilitator. He is a let me get my buckets, right?
Mm-hmm. Which is not a knock on him. But
No, not at all. But that's
he
his
knows
game.
what he's good at, yeah.
Yes. And I think that McDaniel's development was being stunted by Nas Reed. And I think they valued McDaniel's upside more than Nas Reed. So it made it easier to get up off of Nas Reed to create the minutes now for McDaniel to go from a 14-point scorer to probably give you 18, 20 a game.
Yeah, and also, again, that defensive energy that he brought as well, anchoring the defense of Minnesota. And also, I just double-checked the trade packages. A lot of first-round pick swaps that are going to ultimately may or may not be valuable depending on how these teams shake out. Them pick swaps might not even convey, but like I said, a lot of second-round picks. But I do agree with you. Jaden McDaniel has been nothing short of developing every single year, and I do see Minnesota again going a bit younger, getting rid of Nas Reed, which for all the people that are Timberwolves fans out there, I feel for you. Nas Reed has kind of been the heart of this franchise for a while now alongside Anthony Edwards, so going to be some growing pains for sure. They're going to definitely also need to find some more size to put behind alongside Rudy Gobert. That's not just Jaden McDaniel. But, I mean, the Timberwolves I would say they went the other way and going around OKC and the Spurs. As opposed to, like, getting bigger, they got a little bit smaller. They got a little bit more guard play to kind of get around because, like we saw in the finals, Wembanyama can't get cooked, can't be put in a blender. So I think this definitely helps them offensively for sure. Because that's also one of the main reasons that they lost. Their offense couldn't get going. But now they have someone to get that offense going to make it easy for Anthony Edwards to get the ball, for Anthony Edwards to just do what he does best. Get downhill, get his shot off, and not have to worry about anything else.
I think this trade had everything to do with San Antonio, though, but not for the reasons that you might think. I don't think it's because of Wemby. I think it's because of the length, the athleticism, and the depth that they have at guard.
Mm-hmm.
They had to be able to match it. And you get that with LaMelo. He's 6'7", playing point. He's going to give you length. Can he defend? He's a willing he at least tries, right? He's not out there olaying. He at least puts forth effort.
He can get in the way.
Yeah, he can get in the way.
He's a little bit better than a traffic cone. He can get in the way. He can move his feet.
I'll take his defense over James Harden any day. How about that?
I think I could play better than I say that.
And so I think him and Anthony Edwards is going to be a really dynamic backcourt. And this is something that I've been playing around in my head all day. And I kind of mentioned it. I think Minnesota, if Lonzo Ball is healthy, Minnesota needs to go get Lonzo. Because Lonzo at 6'6" gives them more depth. Lonzo is willing to guard. He doesn't have to start. He can come off the bench. Mm-hmm. But what he does is you can put Lonzo, LaMelo, Anthony Edwards on the court together at times, and it becomes a track meet. It's get out and go. And that's when Anthony Edwards is dangerous. Mm-hmm. You now put him at – imagine a scenario. Rudy Gobert gets the rebound, kicks it out to LaMelo. LaMelo looking to push the ball ahead. He's going to push it to Lonzo, who's probably one of the most top – he's one of the top passers in the NBA as well. Mm-hmm. Giving that ball up to Anthony Edwards for a finish, oh, my goodness. That's exciting basketball. But you're right. They're going to have to find a power forward who can play at the elbow, which is going to give them a whole nother. They don't need anybody. They don't need a stretch four. They need a power forward that can hit that 15-foot jumper at the elbow, which is going to now make you come off. You got LaMelo and Rudy Gobert coming off a screen roll, Rudy Gobert diving to the basket, but then the pop out is that 4 at the elbow who can now turn and face and make some things happen, freeing up Anthony Edwards to do his thing. And so I think that there's going to be some more moves that are going to be made by Minnesota. And I think there's going to be another name that's going to fall off the board that Minnesota's going to go get, in my opinion.
I will also say the one major issue, though, is for the Timberwolves is what happens to Ayo DeSumo, who they just gave that contract extension to. Where does he fit in? Does he go back to being on the bench? Does he start at a small forward? Like, how are they going to fit him into now? Because obviously, LaMelo's going to be the starting point guard. Obviously, your starting shooting guard is going to be Anthony Edwards. Does Ayo then move to that?
How tall is he?
He's 6'4".
So that's a small.
He's a guard.
That's a small. But think about
He'll
it, though.
be small forward.
Him going off
He's
the-
still a shooter.
Him coming off the bench probably helps them more than hurt them, because now you want something that you want some firepower. You want a Vinny Johnson type player coming off the bench, microwave, instant offense.
Mm-hmm.
So it probably helps them.
Very, very expensive.
Man, you got to spend the money on something.
At 5-year, $1 to $12 million contract, the player option the 5th season. So I'm interested to see, because he was good for them off the bench in that playoff run. One of probably their few bright spots in that playoff run. So, hey, Timberwolves basically flipped Julius Randle and Naz Reid, brought back LaMelo Ball. Is going to be an interesting team.
Bro,
It's going to be, like you said, a more fast-paced team for sure.
that is a flip that I would take, because Julius Randle. Okay, now I'm gonna say this. Julius Randle would be a fit for this team now, because he's a forward that can play at that elbow. But
I think they saw his scoring production in the playoffs. They said, "We're gonna take our chances in free agency." Nothing against Julius Randle, but getting older, a little bit slower. He just wasn't really fitting, and I think the Timberwolves are probably looking to get a little bit younger, not too young, but just a little bit younger. And like you saying, LaMelo likes to pass the ball. Probably going to be a lot more high speed, high paced offense that we've been kind of seeing to again kind of make up for the fact they don't have that many bigs, because one thing you can do is you got to run up and down the court. Them bigs, because the bigs got to keep up. So I think this might become, like you said, this might become a track meet, how they run their offense.
I'm gonna tell you, there's a couple of bigs out there that I think that power forwards. John Collins is one.
Mm-hmm.
I think they may go after. Cam Johnson is another. I think they may go after. I think those two fit that mold. Cam Johnson will stretch the floor a little bit more than John Collins will, but John Collins and that elbow, man, he could do some damage there. I think Trey Murphy III is going to cost. It's going to be too much. They're not going to be able to get him. And another one is Dean Wade. I wouldn't be surprised if they went after him as well. If they go for the stretch 4 as opposed to that 4 that can play in the elbow.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be interesting to see what else they add to this mix. But Minnesota, go get Lonzo.
It's not a bad pick if he's a free agent.
He's a free agent. Man, just think about this.
Sign him to.
Big Baller brand would go crazy. Big Baller would go crazy. LeVar would go nuts. And then you think about it. You got Jello sitting in the building watching his brothers play. Like, that atmosphere is going to be crazy. Those games will be on television. They're already going to be on television, but they would definitely be much-watched TV on an NBA Pass or something like that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be interested to see what other moves the Timberwolves now make to try to complement this roster.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think another forward they could look for, maybe potentially Andrew Wiggins.
For Miami?
Yep, because he has it's a player option, so if they can start talking to him, offer him a lot more money than Miami can, because Miami, unfortunately, is kind of strapped for cash.
Yeah, Miami is broke. They are broke.
That if they're able to offer enough money, I don't really have their cap situation up on my screen right now, but if they can offer him enough money, maybe make it seem like a little bit more of an intrigue. Now it's gonna be hard to get him because he said he likes Miami. Miami likes him. Miami really likes him. I personally am a fan of Andrew Wiggins on the Heat. So I don't really see him moving, but that's another player they can potentially target. Maybe make a couple trades like free up some salary cap.
Yeah, but now I'm not gonna get crazy. This does not make Minnesota Western Conference favorite. Not in the least bit. But it does make that conversation a little bit more interesting now because they can put together some pieces. That's a scary opposition to have to play in a 7-game series in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I think for the Eastern Conference, I don't want to say the Eastern Conference got a little bit younger. It got a little bit also, from what I've seen, also a little bit quote unquote weaker, because now you don't have LaMelo on the Hornets anymore. Now they got the Hornets, they can still be contenders, but they're not as flashy. I'll say as flashy
because they did re-sign
Kobe White.
Kobe White.
So they're not scrubs. They're not scrubs. The Hornets are not scrubs by any means. Again, they got Naz Reid, so they got a front court that's going to be competent. They got that veteran presence. But I think star power wise, the East got a little bit thinner.
Yeah, and then Minnesota still has DiVincenzo as well.
Oh yeah.
So once he gets healthy,
hope for a speedy recovery for him. No one wants to ever see that injury happen, but
definitely.
Yeah, Minnesota's not the favorites, but they definitely put themselves back in that volatile Western Conference. Because while you always know what the top 2 teams are going to be, 3 through 6 is a toss up. We could end up with a situation where it comes down to the last couple games for those last 3 through 8. I say 3 through 8 spots.
Now I'm gonna say something though. Think of you as somebody like Dame Lillard. I'm kind of mad that they brought Melo to the West. It's like I already got to run around and chase these young bucks. Now you bring in one more. Dame is not a spring chicken no more. So
he's also coming off that
yes.
Achilles. Was it Achilles?
Yeah, I think so. So
he can still shoot. That's the thing. He can still shoot. He showed off in that 3-point contest.
Game time.
He can still shoot, but yeah, he's getting up there.
Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting to see how all that plans out. Hey, folks, we're gonna take a real quick break and we'll be right back.
When it comes to your safety, good enough doesn't cut it. That's why you need the best work gloves. Bare knuckles, gloves for any job, anywhere.
Less clutter, more clarity. This is Distill Union, where smart design meets real life. From wallets that snap shut just right to eyewear that's built to last, every detail is made to simplify your day. No flash, no fuss. Just clean lines, clever function, and modern style that moves with you. Distill Union, smart by design. Simplify your everyday. Use promo code FSEN and receive 20% off your entire order.
Embrace individuality with A-Color's diverse collection designed to stand out and make a statement wherever you go. Designed in sunny Los Angeles and handcrafted with precision, A-Color sunglasses deliver durability and comfort, keeping you stylish and protected all day long. Use promo code FSEN and get 10% off your entire order.
All right, folks, we're back. Now, we're sitting up here. We were having a debate while the commercials were running about this young man brought up Kawhi Leonard, and I'm gonna let you tell the people what you just said.
So allegedly, it's being reported that if Kawhi were to get traded, because he's been on a trading block now, he might be willing. So first of all, I read something that he was unwilling to sign an extension with the Heat or the Pistons. Which, first of all, why say F us for the Heat? Because he got honest. He's not really worried about Kawhi right now. But he also said he might be willing to sign an extension with his past 2 teams, the Raptors and the Spurs. Now, Kawhi and De'Aaron Fox have very similar contracts.
Okay.
And
that's like $3 million something difference.
Basically, Kawhi is in the expiring contract too. Okay. I think Kawhi Leonard's definitely going to be the other domino's going to fall in terms of where he goes or if he stays. Because, again, that investigation from the NBA into the Clippers and that whole tree planting, I forget what it's called off the top of my head, that whole situation was there. But Kawhi, on the Spurs. Now, granted, they did have that messy breakup. Kawhi on the Spurs or Kawhi on the Raptors, that might be a little bit interesting. Little homecoming for him to the Spurs. Because, I mean, defensively, that would be a problem. Because he's going to be on the perimeter. You do not need Wembanyama to now get out the paint and try and go to the perimeter. You got Kawhi for that. Offensively, he might have to take a little bit of a step back from being a ball handler on the offense. Because, you're going to have Vassell, you're going to have Dylan Harper, you're going to have Stephon Castle mainly holding the ball. But you could run a 3-guard situation with the Spurs and then have Kawhi and Wembanyama as your front court. That gets scary.
Yes, it is.
That gets scary defensively. That gets scary offensively. And then if you're the Clippers, De'Aaron Fox, maybe you ask for Keldon Johnson and a couple draft picks.
Now, is Norman Powell still?
Norman Powell is a free agent.
Okay.
So
They don't have a point guard.
who?
The Clippers.
The Clippers can go after Norman Powell they have some space to make some signings. They do have some space.
Fox is 28. I think Kawhi's like 35. But
You get a little bit younger, you kind of start tooling down a bit. You get a little bit younger. You have a front court of De'Aaron Fox and Darius Garland. Not front court, back court, apologies. It could be interesting. It could very much be interesting. I think
the Clippers would jump all over this trade. I don't know if San Antonio would.
I mean, oh no, we lose De'Aaron Fox. I wonder who's going to be our ball handler.
I don't think it's not so much that is. There's some scars there from when Kawhi was there before, and
time heals all wounds. Nobody in that organization that was on that roster, I believe, is still there. I think. Also, it's not like it messes with the Spurs timeline. Truthfully,
I tell you what though, it does free up that point guard slot for Dylan Harper to slide right on in and not have any issues with putting De'Aaron Fox on the bench because De'Aaron Fox gonna be coming off the bench this coming season. I think.
Stephon Castle's a point guard. Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper. Your starting lineup could be Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Dylan Harper, Kawhi, and Wemby. You cannot tell me that's not interesting to see. That does not impede on really anyone's development except for maybe Keldon Johnson. But truthfully, if you go through this trade, Keldon Johnson's probably going to the Clippers.
Yeah.
Or one of their young guys.
Well, if I'm the Clippers, y'all gonna have to include Harper in that trade. I'm trying to get Harper.
Best they can do is two second-round picks.
Yeah.
And a first in 2027.
And I think that's the problem they're gonna find. We joked about De'Aaron Fox leaving San Antonio, but I think any suitor for De'Aaron Fox is gonna want Dylan Harper in that trade. I would.
I mean, yeah, you would. I don't think the Spurs are gonna give up Dylan Harper and De'Aaron Fox.
I don't think they would either, so that's why I don't think that trade's gonna happen. Because you're gonna have to give up one of them, either him, Castle, or Vassell. One of them's gotta go. One of them's gonna have to go. You're not gonna be able to keep all that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna need some of that.
I mean, it was just a thought. It was just something I saw, something I want to kind of throw out there.
No, I mean it's not.
Also, again, he also said the Raptors potentially. Now, that's a little bit more interesting.
Why the Raptors though? What do the Raptors have that would
And
make
this is more so
that would make
where
Kawhi want to go
would
back?
be willing. I mean, Scotty Barnes, R.J. Barrett. They got a little something. They weren't scrubs.
R.J. Barrett, Scotty Barnes. No, that's not enough for me to want to go back to Toronto and deal with that cold.
Hey, he won a championship there before. It's not impossible.
Yeah, but they did.
I think his best chance would be San Antonio, and just hopefully Popovich welcomes him back with open arms. Hopefully, that organization they can let bygones be bygones.
Is Uncle Dennis still around? If Uncle Dennis still around, I don't see that happening.
Hey, just leave him in L.A. Leave him in L.A.
Yeah, if Uncle Dennis still there, I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's him. He is definitely another one on the trademark to look out for. I think that's the next big domino to fall outside of John Morant, where again the Grizzlies are still trying to struggle to find a market for him. Less so because more so because he has been a bit injury prone. He's been out with a couple injuries the past couple years, and also again for John Morant, his attitude and his demeanor. There's only so many times you can flash a gun on social media trying to act tough, and teams are not gonna look at you crazy. But I think Kawhi is definitely gonna be that last, outside of LeBron and what LeBron does, that last big trade that falls in the NBA before we start seeing a couple roster moves kind of fill out some spaces.
Here's why I think the Rapture thing is interesting. Apparently, it's alleged that when Kawhi was in Toronto, he wanted ownership stake. Exactly. My man wanted ownership stake. And so that makes that one a hard one to imagine Toronto bringing that man back. I think Kawhi is going to be in L.A. and finish out his time with the Clippers. That's just me.
You say you think he's going to stay with the Clippers?
Yes.
I mean, he's not going to sign an extension. It's going to be his last season. He's going to walk as free agent.
Well, he's 36. So.
I mean, he'll be, yeah. I mean, hey.
It's not like you're getting 26-year-old prime Kawhi.
But he's still a problem when healthy.
He is. He had one of his better seasons this past year.
He was healthier this season.
Without a doubt, yeah. Without a doubt.
He just needs to call LeBron and ask him where he be going for his recovery.
LeBron got the chamber, man.
He needs to call LeBron and ask if he can borrow it. Be like, hey, I know we busted your butt a couple finals. Let me borrow that chamber real quick.
But hey, let's look at Giannis. How does Giannis change the East? I mean, he's going to Miami now. How does the Eastern Conference stack up? Is it Miami, Boston, New York, Cleveland? Are those the top 4 teams in the East? And does Philly still have an argument for being talked about in the same breath as those teams? Because I think Boston becomes a totally different look if Jaylen Brown's gone.
Absolutely. I think, well, the Heat, like I said, as constructed, I think the Heat have a chance to be top 8, truthfully, as constructed right now. I think after come August, the Heat might be top 5, truthfully. This is me obviously being biased a little bit as a Heat fan, but I do think that the Knicks are always going to be the team to beat. I think Cleveland, I'm gonna say the Hawks. They've been quietly rebuilding, quietly on the rise. The Hawks might be a little bit of a problem. I think the Pistons, I know they just traded Beef Stew, but I think the Pistons are poised. They're also looking at Norman Powell. I think the Pistons are going to definitely focus on adding shooters around Cade in order to balance out our roster. I think the Pistons are going to be, again, at the top of the East. The Sixers got to make some moves to be in that conversation again. I don't foresee the Sixers really being as much of a threat as, say, the Hornets or Miami this coming year, just because they haven't really made any moves yet. As I said, the free agency officially starts July 6th, so hopefully they make some moves in. But as of right now, I think the top 5 in the East would be the Knicks, obviously, the Pistons, the Heat, the Cavs, and I'm gonna still say Boston because they're gonna still have a healthy Jason Tatum. I think Boston, with this, if they do trade Jaylen Brown, they're gonna get something in return that's gonna still help them win now. If they do keep Jaylen Brown, that locker room's gonna be terrible. But I think they're still going to be a problem because they're still going to have the 2 J's together, even if that locker room is, for lack of better words, a toxic environment to be in.
I don't think it'll be toxic. I think they're all professional. Here's the thing that I always said about men's athletics. I don't have to like you to play with you. If you can help me win, we can figure this out.
Does Jaylen Brown think Jason Tatum can help him win? Because he proved he can win without him.
No, but I think
that's Finals MVP
Jason Tatum can win feels like he can win, and they can win a lot with each other. And so I think somebody has to be the adult in the room, and I think it'll be one of them to do that.
He'll probably hate him.
Plus, the man's owed $70 million. $70 million. You give me that $70 million extension, I can learn to like you.
Yeah, I don't, because he still has 3 years left on his contract. If he doesn't get traded, I don't see the Celtics extending him this year.
No, he's up for
He's up for, but I think he still has 3 years left on his contract.
They gonna give him that. I think they'll give it to him.
I don't think this year.
70 mil.
I don't think they give it to him this year. I think it might be a situation where they kind of wait, because they might move him at the trade deadline. They might see how this goes, and they might move him by the trade deadline. So I don't see them extending him this offseason, whether or not they keep him or move him. They might let it play out and see how it goes. If they can still work together next offseason, I don't see why not.
That man's gonna get paid either way. Well, no, because then next offseason is Jason Tatum's turn. They gotta pay both these jokers in back-to-back years. It's gonna be ugly, man. Boston.
Someone gotta go. Like I said, if anything,
I don't think that Brown's coming back. I don't think he's coming back. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening, and that's a problem as a Boston fan. I like Jaylen Brown.
But I guess on the flip side, the West with this new trade, how do you think? I know we're kind of talking about the middle of the pack, but how do you think the West now stacks with some of these moves? Because Los Angeles extended, gave Austin Reeves his money. The Golden State Warriors are bringing back Al Horford on a bit more of a longer extension.
Doesn't move the needle for me.
I don't know what Phoenix is doing. Trailblazers is going to get Dame back healthy.
Doesn't move the needle for me.
I don't know what the Clippers are doing. I don't really know what the Rockets are doing. The Rockets might be a whole different team, save for Amen Thompson this coming year. We're going to see.
I think,
and a healthy Fred VanVleet.
I think the biggest chip to fall hasn't, well, I'm going to say the biggest, but one of the bigger chips left to fall is Kevin Durant. I don't think Kevin Durant will be a Houston Rocket next year. I have a feeling he may end up in Golden State.
God bless. Who you get from Golden State, though? Because I'm not going to lie. I like how Golden State drafted this year. I think Golden State's going to be – they're definitely going to be better than 10th, how they stacked up last year. I think the way they drafted this year, they're bringing back that core. That core going to be healthy. So long as they still – that's caveat. So long as this older team stays healthy, I think Golden State 6th. They might sneak into the top 6 of the West if they stay as constructed. If they get KD, who do you move from Golden State to get KD? Does KD want to go back to Golden State? Is the second question, because
I think KD
Golden State. I don't see Golden State, because realistically, the person I move is Draymond. I don't see them moving Draymond for KD.
I would. I most definitely would do that in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. I wouldn't even think twice about it. I would move Draymond for KD in a heartbeat if I'm Golden State. If they traded Klay, they will trade Draymond, because I think that Klay was better than Draymond.
Before that injury, before that unfortunate injury, I would agree with you. But after,
and Draymond's the king of the triple single. Come on now.
Hey, sometimes, like you saw with Josh Hart, sometimes your impact on the court is not always reflected in that stat sheet.
I mean, Draymond.
If you need someone to choke somebody out, you ask Draymond. Everyone needs an enforcer on their team. Draymond is the enforcer.
Draymond's gonna be a Hall of Famer, no doubt. But I will trade Draymond for KD every day of the week and twice on Sunday. If it came to it, I most definitely would.
Shoot, trade for KD, sign LeBron, basically remake that USA team.
Yeah. Definitely. But hey, folks, we're gonna take one more quick break and we'll be right back.
Looking good should feel good with Hypernatural. It actually does. Their polos and shirts are made from natural jade and crab shell fibers engineered for softness, cooling comfort, and next-level performance. It's sustainable luxury that works as hard as you do. From the boardroom to the weekend, Hypernatural keeps you fresh, sharp, and confident all day long. Hypernatural, better by nature. Discover yours at hypernaturalstyle.com. Use promo code FSEN and get 20% off your order.
Love coffee, but not the crash. Meet Savarista, craft coffee reimagined for balance. Every roast delivers the rich flavor you crave, with little to no caffeine, so you can stay calm, focused, and in control. Ethically sourced, small batch roasted, and designed for people who live life intentionally, one cup at a time. Visit Savarista.com and use promo code FSEN to get 25% off your order. Savarista, bold flavor, balanced energy.
For that last commercial. All right, folks, we are back here. We're gonna wrap this show up here. We're gonna end with these two questions. Who were the biggest winners and losers from the draft this year? I think the Wizards were a big winner.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Honestly, they finally got the number 1 pick. They only had 2 draft picks, but they made sure to hit. Again, obviously, they got their new front court, their new big 3, assuming they keep AD. But the Wizards definitely think. I'm gonna say, like I was saying earlier, the Warriors drafted well. They drafted both to win now and also to ensure their future past Steph Curry, which they got to start looking at now, because it's going to be sooner rather than later. I think the Warriors did well drafting. They drafted. Let me make sure I'm doing this correctly. They drafted Yaxel Lindenborg, who is going to be good. Is going to be a great fit for them. He was a centerpiece off that championship team from Michigan. I think he's going to definitely bring that energy that they need at that forward position, and hopefully they go about developing him better than when they had Kuminga, and they don't have the same situation there where the timelines in the matchup. I think his timeline matches up with the end of Curry's for sure.
Was it Jay Jones is the other one from Florida State?
Yeah. Another guard that they, again, start developing him past to help prepare for them for the post-Curry era that, again, is coming up shortly. I also think that I'm going to say San Antonio, one of the bigger winners. They got bigger. They got bigger and younger. That's the problem. They got bigger and younger. All those backup centers that they had that were old, save for Luke Cornett, probably not coming back. They got younger. They got another backup center in Reed and Terrence Reed Jr. They got bigger. They got younger. Spurs won. I think every team drafted well this past.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that everybody paid attention. I think a lot of this had to do something with what the direction the NBA is going with the draft too. But you saw 8 of the first 11 picks were freshmen, which brings me back to why are we making these kids go to school? and I know you had this. You had to go ahead and make that statement that you said to me, and I didn't think about that.
I was a different person after my freshman year in college than I was after my senior year of high school. That year in college is when you're getting your first taste of the real world, when you're living outside your parents. Even though, yes, they're still kids being drafted to the NBA, they're slightly more mature, just a little bit. And also, you go to college, you start getting that education, you start preparing for life past the NBA. You've seen a lot of players go back to get the degrees. You go to college, even with NIL, you go to college, you start that education, you go play in the NBA. You might continue while you're in the NBA. You walk out with a degree. You got something to do afterwards. Yeah, that's why. So they're prepared for life past the NBA. That's why I think kids should keep having them go at least a year to college, because that might turn into 2, 3, or 4, however that might look, especially now with NIL.
Gotcha. Wait, folks.
There is one loser though for the draft.
Okay. Well, who's the loser?
The Portland Trailblazers, and they had no picks this past draft. So, obviously, the default loser didn't have no picks, didn't improve, or got worse through the draft. They're gonna rock out with basically what they have, which is not terrible.
They got Dame.
They got Dame. They basically got back everything from that trade, and then they got picks next year because they got all of Milwaukee's picks for the coming years. So
Plus, they got Dame back. That's
plus
crazy.
they got Dame back.
So, which conference is better, East or West?
The West, obviously.
It's obvious that the West is better.
Well, let's look at it this way. Like I was saying earlier, while I don't think that, like I was saying earlier, the West, the top two teams are obviously Spurs and OKC, even after OKC has to make a couple sacrifices to stay underneath that luxury tax. But then 3 through 8 is interesting. Lakers, Golden State, the Timberwolves. Like the West is not top heavy. The Eastern Conference is a bit more top heavy.
Yeah.
So I think the Western Conference has a lot more talent concentrated on those top teams than in the East. The East is a lot more interesting to watch because anyone could be that number 1 seed because of the fact that the talent is more spread out, quote unquote, spread out amongst those teams than in the West. Like hey man, if you came to me and said I think the Hornets might be the top 3, I will not look at you completely crazy because we don't know what happens in the East. Literally the whole Eastern Conference this past year was, anything can happen. The Celtics blew a 3-1 lead to the Sixers, I believe, correct?
Don't remind me, but yes.
People did not think that Boston was going to even be in the running. What was Boston? In the running. The East is more interesting to watch, but I think the Western Conference is a lot more, quote-unquote, talented.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Well, we're going to end with that note. Anything you want to say in closing?
Stay cool. It's getting hot out there.
It was cool today, 90-some degrees because of the cloud cover. So I was happy about that. Hey, folks, this is going to wrap up another episode of FSEN Daily. Thank you guys for continuing to tune in, watch, and supporting the platform. We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you. Be blessed. Have a good one.
Have a blessed day, everyone.
Coaches, leaders, voices you should know. Local runs deep everywhere we go. If it matters here, then it matters today. This is FSEN Daily. Same time, same way.